Hello, Fox Valley. This is Mike Johnson, realtor and appraiser. Want to talk today about something I get asked about all the time as an appraiser. And I assume since I get asked so much, it's got to be on the top of people's minds. And this goes well with with being a realtor too, and selling and buying properties. But I almost daily get asked, what can I do to increase the value of my home, right? What's the biggest bang for the buck? And I mean, it's an easy question, and it's not. Because one, obviously, update your house, right? Yeah, you update it, it's going to be worth more. But the tricky part is okay, you can make your house worth more easily by throwing money at it. The tricky part is you want your house to be worth more than the amount you spent to fix it up, right? You don't want to be upside down on this. So really what people are asking is, what is the least amount I can spend to get the biggest bang, on my return, ROI, return on investment. So I'm going to start at the beginning with this, and that is you got to fix anything that's broken, right? That's the big easy part, because we call it in appraiser land deferred maintenance. This is stuff that if your house is on the market, you don't want to see it that way. We're talking about like frayed carpeting, stained floors, marked walls, damaged walls, leaky roof, leaky pipes, weird smell. Yeah, lots of weird smells out there. So first and foremost, all of that has to be taken care of, right? If you don't, it's a matter of your house is going to sell below market value. And for the most part, these items, they're not expensive, right? You can patch a wall, you can paint a house, you do it yourself. It's not fun, but you can do it, and you can do a good job at it. Flooring does not need to be expensive, right? You don't need hardwood floors. Vinyl plank, it's great, waterproof. So that's the first thing. Your biggest thing is going to be fixing all the stuff that needs to be fixed. You can usually do it, for not that much, unless you need, a complete tear down roof or a new furnace. But if you're selling your property, you pretty much got to get that stuff done. Otherwise, it's just going to be investors looking at your property. And while I like investors, you don't necessarily want to have to sell to one, because that's going to be below market value in order for them to make, what they need to. So after that, let's talk about what should be done, what upgrades, not fixing stuff that's broken, but what upgrades can be done for the biggest bang for your buck. So flooring is a big one, and depending on the market you're in, you can do that vinyl plank flooring. I'm even seeing like in some $800,000 new construction properties, they have vinyl plank flooring. You don't have to do the hardwood floors. A lot of people like it. They're doing everything, no carpeting, just vinyl plank, all bedrooms, everywhere. It stands up to time. I'm a fan of it. Painting, obviously, but smart painting. You want to do painting that sort of stands out but doesn't turn anybody off, right? You can use, ChatGPT is actually great for this. I recently did my kitchen, and I took a picture of it, and I said, hey, what can I do, to this wall to make it stand out and look nice? And it like showed me options, and I went with it. And I spent, I actually ended up doing a slat wall in my kitchen. It cost me $250, and it looks awesome. It just adds a little bit something extra to it. So from there, your bigger increases are going to come from your bigger ticket items, like kitchens and bathrooms. Always kitchens and bathrooms. The thing is you don't need to completely gut them. As a matter of fact, if you're gutting your kitchen and your bathroom, you're probably not going to make any money for it. You'll love it. It's great. It looks awesome. Do that for yourself. But it's probably the amount that you're going to get back if you were selling it is going to be probably relatively close. to how much you spent, just because, you know, the cost on that is so much. Where you can get a really good bang for your buck is updating it, right? So paint the cabinets, hire somebody, do it yourself. It is a pain in the butt to do it yourself. I've done it. Me and my wife have. You know, it's a good way to start an argument. Countertops, quartz, you know, don't have to go super expensive. Everybody likes quartz. Switching out the appliances if you need to, you know, just stainless steel. You do that, and same thing with the kitchen or with the bathroom. You know, changing out the sink, you know, maybe tile work, maybe not, some paint, stuff like that is going to get you a good return versus how much you're spending on it. Areas where you don't see as big of a return is basements, right? I get a lot of flack on this. Everybody wants to just go crazy on their basement, and I love a nice basement. I have my basement finished, but you don't get a big return on that. You know, it's a below grade area. You're not living in there every day, most people at least. Backyards, you know, spending a ton of money on, you know, an outdoor kitchen or a patio. You know, you want to have a nice yard and you want it to be presentable, but that's just still, once again, that's an area where you're not going to get a lot of return on that, because people come in and they've got their own ideas on what they would want, you know, back there. I just don't see that, you know, when I'm crunching the numbers, making a big difference. So that's all I got today, you know. Fix what needs to be fixed. Start with the easy stuff: flooring, painting, you know, maybe a nice, you know, color that pops in the kitchen, or some panels, and then kitchens and bathrooms. Okay? All right, thank you.